Unbelievable. Could it really be true that Hye Yoon just bought a gift for Byeon Woo Seok? Like a devoted wife spoiling her husband? The gesture was so intimate, so unexpected, that it sent fans into a frenzy. Join Red Carpet Revealed as we uncover the full story and find out exactly what happened, right now. It began innocently enough, or at least, it seemed to. On a quiet weekday afternoon in Seoul. The kind of day where the streets hum softly under the winter sun. Anne happened to be wandering through a high-end boutique in Gangnam. They weren't expecting to see anyone out of the ordinary. But then she walked in. Hye Yoon. Hair tucked neatly under a beige wool beret. Her face mostly hidden behind a scarf. Through the door with a sense of purpose. She wasn't there to browse idly, her eyes swept the store quickly. And then she made her way straight toward the men's section. To anyone else, it might have seemed like a routine shopping trip. But to the fan, and later, thousands who would see the grainy phone video she captured, there was something different in the way Hye Yoon moved. She picked up a navy cashmere sweater, ran her fingers over the fabric as if testing its softness, then held it up to the light with an almost instinctive care. She wasn't guessing. She knew exactly what she was looking for. And that was when she asked the store attendant a question that set the internet ablaze: "Do you have this in Byeon Woo Seok's size?" The attendant, startled, glanced around as if unsure they'd heard correctly. But Hye Yoon just smiled faintly, completely at ease. She asked about colors, mentioned that he prefers darker shades in winter, and even checked the stitching along the cuffs. The fan's video later hit Twitter. The captions wrote themselves: "She shops like a wife who knows her husband's wardrobe by heart." The gift didn't stay a mystery for long. 2 days later, Byeon Woo Seok arrived on set for a magazine shoot, wearing a sweater that looked suspiciously like the one from the boutique. It was sleek, perfectly fitted, and in the exact navy shade Hye Yoon had examined. Paparazzi shots caught him smiling more than usual that day. And when asked about the sweater, he simply said, "It's a gift. A very thoughtful one." From there, the story exploded. Social media became a battlefield of theories and speculation. Some fans were overjoyed, calling it proof of the deep bond they'd suspected all along. "She knows his style better than he does," one popular fan page posted, alongside side-by-side pictures of the boutique sweater and Woo Seok's on-set look. Others were more cautious, arguing that friends, even co-stars, could exchange gifts without it meaning anything more. But in every comment section, same comparison kept popping up: she bought it like a wife buying for her husband. Entertainment media was quick to pounce. Lines screamed across news portals: Hye Yoon's boutique visit sparks dating rumors. Byeon Woo Seok's sweater mystery solved. And from screen couple to real-life romance, reporters dug through old interview clips, highlighting every lingering glance. Moment of off-screen banter between the two. One variety show segment even played a montage of their behind-the-scenes interactions, setting it to romantic background music. Meanwhile, insiders began to talk, cautiously. A stylist who had worked with Woo Seok revealed that he rarely wore gifts from friends unless they held special meaning. "He's particular about his clothes," she said. "If he wore it on a shoot, it's because it mattered to him." Another crew member recounted seeing the two sharing coffee during a break. Woo Seok leaning back with a contented smile as Hye Yoon laughed at something he'd said. By the end of the week, the sweater had become more than a piece of clothing. It was a symbol of familiarity, of thoughtfulness, and of a relationship that, whether romantic or not, seemed undeniably close. A real question lingered in the air. Unspoken yet persistent: was this just a friendly gesture between co-stars, or the kind of intimate act that only comes from something deeper? Answer, as it turned out, was hidden in the details. Weeks later, fashion blogger with connections in the industry revealed that the sweater wasn't just any sweater. It was from a limited edition winter collection by a luxury Italian brand, available in only 3 boutiques in Seoul. The price tag was high enough to make even celebrities think twice. What made it special was its exclusivity. If you didn't reserve it in advance, it was nearly impossible to get your hands on. According to the blogger, Hye Yoon had called ahead to the boutique the night before, requesting the exact size and color she wanted. She knew his measurements perfectly, the source claimed, and she asked them to wrap it in simple packaging, not the brand's flashy signature box. She said she wanted it to feel personal. When Woo Seok wore the sweater again, this time in a candid airport photo, Fans noticed something else. He was carrying a travel tumbler in the same shade of navy, with his initials engraved on the side. It didn't take long for rumors to swirl that the tumbler, too, had been a gift from Hye Yoon. The idea of her choosing a matching set for him only fueled the wife-pampering husband narrative that had taken over online discourse. On the set of their latest drama, whispers among crew members grew louder. One lighting technician described seeing Woo Seok unwrap the sweater for the first time. He ran his hand over the fabric and smiled like a kid, they said. Then he put it on right away. Even though it wasn't for a scene, he wore it during rehearsal. Every time Hye Yoon walked by, he'd straighten up a little. He wanted her to see. The symbolism wasn't lost on anyone. In Korean culture, gifting clothing, especially something as personal as a sweater, can carry romantic undertones. It suggests warmth, protection, desire to be part of someone's daily life. The way Hye Yoon had chosen and presented it only deepened that impression. When asked directly about the gift during a press conference, Hye Yoon's answer was coy. "It's just something I thought would suit him," he said with a small smile. "We've worked together a lot, so I know what colors he looks good in." The room erupted in quiet laughter, but her carefully chosen words did little to silence the speculation. Fans continued to pour over every public appearance, noting when they stood close, when their hands brushed, when their eyes met a moment too long. The sweater became a running joke in the fandom. Fan art depicting Woo Seok wearing it in exaggeratedly romantic scenarios. And through it all, neither of them denied, nor confirmed, the deeper implications. In the end, perhaps that was the point. The gift had already told its own story. One of familiarity, care, intimacy that didn't need a label. Whether they were just friends or something more. The way Kim Hye Yoon had chosen that sweater, and the way Byeon Woo Seok wore it, spoke volumes. And for their fans, that was more than enough to keep the story alive. Even as the days turned into weeks, the sweater's story refused to fade. Instead, to grow richer, layered with each new public sighting of Byeon Woo Seok wearing it. Fans began to notice how he often paired it with a relaxed smile, the kind that seemed untouched by the chaos of celebrity life. Swore he carried himself differently when he wore it. Shoulders a little straighter, eyes a little brighter, as though the fabric itself carried the warmth of the person who had chosen it for him. In one particularly viral moment, Cam captured him stepping off set on a chilly evening, the navy sweater peeking out from beneath his coat. A staff member handed him a coffee, but instead of holding it himself, he gestured towards someone just out of frame. Moments later, Kim Hye Yoon appeared, accepting the cup with a grin before they fell into step together. They didn't speak for a few seconds, just walked side by side, their strides unconsciously matching. It was simple, ordinary, and yet, to those watching, it felt like watching a scene that had been unfolding quietly all along. Entertainment shows tried to keep the conversation alive. One segment featured stylists and relationship experts debating whether the sweater truly signified something deeper. A veteran stylist noted, "Choosing clothing for someone isn't just about knowing their size. It's about knowing their taste, their habits, their comfort." Got it right. It means she's been paying attention for a long time. Other panelists smiled knowingly and added, "And from the way he wears it, I'd say he knows exactly what that gift meant." Meanwhile, social media continued to feed the frenzy. Fan accounts posted side-by-side images of Woo Seok in the sweater and Hye Yoon's boutique visit, adding captions like, "That love is in the details and from her hands to his heart." Others took a more playful approach, creating memes that depicted Woo Seok guarding the sweater from imaginary rivals. Even the brand itself subtly joined in, posting a cryptic Instagram story featuring the same sweater with the caption, "Some gifts say more than words." But for all the noise, the two stars remained graceful in their silence. They attended award shows, press events, and charity functions. Sometimes together, sometimes apart, but always with the same calm, composed demeanor. And whenever they were photographed in the same frame, there was a flicker, a glance, a smile, that kept the question alive in the hearts of their fans. By the time spring approached, the sweater had become more than a fashion item, it was a symbol in pop culture. An emblem of the quiet ways affection can be shown and received. Or not Kim Hye Yoon and Byeon Woo Seok ever chose to define what they were to each other. Their story had already carved its place in the collective imagination, not through public declarations, but through a single, thoughtful act that spoke louder than any words. Thank you for watching this video until the very end. Stay tuned for our next video. We promise the next chapter will surprise you even more.